Here's what's coming up on today's Cowboys Report. The latest on Micah Parsons. 3 edge rushers that we know of worked out for the Cowboys. We will discuss the Jaydon Blue claims and some potential good news on DeMarvion Overshown. Before we dive into that, there's a lot of people who are not eligible anymore to win the Micah Parsons Pool because their prediction date has passed. We are still going to run it, though. You pick the date Micah signs or gets traded. Venmo me at Wacko and Downey, $5 to enter, and we'll do a 50-50 split the pot for the winner. Let's dive in latest here on Micah Parsons. He reportedly was not on the team flight out to Oxnard. However, he was far from the only one who did not travel with the team. He expected to report on time. Other guys flew separately. Some guys were already down there. I think Overshown was one of them, by the way, who was there a little bit early. The expectation, as it has been for months, for weeks, etc., is that he's going to be there. What we don't know is how much he'll do and when the inevitable contract extension comes around. We're still waiting on that deal. It's still unclear exactly when the Cowboys will call the agent and finalize what I don't think is a crazy contract to get done. The when still remains frustratingly so an unknown. There are not many more leaves to fall. The only one that would really be left is Aidan Hutchinson, who he will get more than TJ Watt given his age. So if you were the Cowboys, you would operate with urgency, right? But they refuse to operate with any urgency at all. TJ Watt is the new highest paid non-QB, $41 million per year. We already knew he was going to beat Jamar Chase. Well, now we know he's going to beat TJ Watt. For a 3-year deal, that level of guaranteed money actually is pretty impressive for TJ Watt. Whenever this deal gets done, it's going to be a record setter, and we'll all be at least a little bit frustrated it took this long for the deal that we knew was going to take to get done. It's all extremely frustrating. Look, I appreciate Micah not holding out. Cowboys have kind of hinted like, we want to see more leadership. Well, he's there. So I guess he's doing what they asked of him, right? I do wonder if he will hold in. Micah is, in a good way, is a football addict, which I think you want out of your best player, out of any player, really. I wonder if the plan is for him to hold in, or if he's going to be limited, or if he's going to participate. We'll find out Tuesday. So will Micah Parsons practice at training camp? Y for yes, N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video, so go vote Y or N on today's show. Let's move to the other news, the workouts that went down leading into training camp. I don't have the exact details here. Jeremy Fowler said several edge rushers, including these 3 players, worked out for the Cowboys. Jesse Luketa out of Penn State, that is noteworthy. Kameron Cline and James Houston. Now, honest answers, because if the answer is 0, that is okay. If the answer is 1 or 2, I think that's totally fine. These are not exactly household names. This is the bottom of the roster the Cowboys are potentially going to churn here. So be honest with me. How many of those players had you heard of? 0, 1, 2, or 3? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Luketa is intriguing to me because he's done some off-ball, edge, hybrid stuff, and was good friends with Micah Parsons at Penn State. He was a 7th-round pick by the Arizona Cardinals, spent his whole career there, didn't get brought back this year, but he's played NFL games. He's played real snaps there. Kameron Cline has not played nearly as much, and he's a bigger body on the edge with, listed at 6'4", 283. He was a Colts player originally where he overlapped with Matt Eberflus. The Bills for a couple of years, the Jets, mostly practice squad, bounce around stuff there. I think the best player on this list is actually probably James Houston. He had a really intriguing 2022 campaign where he had 8 sacks in 7 games as this situational, rotational edge rusher who really only focused on pass rush, and he only played 2 games in 2023. He had some injury stuff, didn't do much in 2024. That 2022 flash was a flash in the pan, but it was there. Can you find a way to make it happen again? We will certainly keep our eyes on that workout room. Maybe someone like Luigi Villain ends up getting moved, but bottom of the roster churning does still seem to be in play for the Dallas Cowboys. We have a new sponsor here on the Cowboys Report. It is Ethos. As a father of one with a second one on the way, trust me when I say life insurance matters. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. You can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos is a trustworthy company that disrupts the traditional life insurance industry, and it's more affordable than you might think. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. There is no complicated process, and it's 100% online. No medical exam is required. You just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get that free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Let's go to the Jaydon Blue claims, which I'm sure some of you at least saw on social media over the weekend. A former Cowboys coach, he was a very, very, very low-level, not to be mean, I'm not trying to be mean at all, offensive assistant who was there 25 years ago, claims that the current Cowboys staff is not happy with him. Here's what Glenn Stretch Smith said on the Locked On Cowboys podcast. I'm already hearing some rumblings out of the building about the running back they drafted and him being, just kind of borderline lazy, not in the building, doing his workouts. He also then mentioned Texas, so that's how you know it was Jaydon Blue and not Phil Maffa. You created, or I think when they don't know you, when they don't know your work habits are, well, now all of a sudden you created doubt in the organization. You created doubt with the coaching staff. I'm concerned about this pick at the University of Texas. I think he's got to eliminate the doubt that's in the room right now. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'll emphasize this again later. I'm not trying to start stuff, but there's some smell tests that's not exactly being passed here. Now, before we get into that, Cowboys State of the Team, State of the Union press conference will be going on later this afternoon. We will be live for it. Then we will go into the Madden Sim. So don't miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. When it comes to these Jaydon Blue claims, rumors, reports, whatever you want to call them, I'm not trying to start things with other content people. I do have some questions about the reporting and the validity here. Blue has not been around the team very long. A lot of the guys left once OTAs and minicamp were wrapped up and went to go train on their own. That's not unique. And frankly, the original reporter here hasn't been around the team in 25 years either. So, look, what I suspect is going on here, there were some red flags pre-draft. That had been reported that there had been some professionalism question marks around Jaydon Blue. This is what Dane Brugler reported in his draft notes. Needs to convince NFL teams he has the desire and work ethic to maximize the talent. NFL scouts say he may need time to learn what it takes to be a professional. It is worth mentioning, Jaydon Blue just turned 21 years old. So the 20-year-old last year when he was playing football, being immature or whatever, maybe isn't actually that surprising or even concerning. This is what Jaydon Blue posted on Instagram, saying, taking time out here to make a fake article about me for attention. I'll say this part too on Jaydon Blue. We'll know at camp. I think it'll be kind of obvious, if he's been locked in or not. These guys haven't been with the team very much, because they were just drafted. I think doing anything other than giving them time to see what they're able to do and actually be around the team and coaches more than the very limited amount they've been around so far is fair. To try to write them off already honestly doesn't make much sense. So with that in mind, what is your confidence level in Jaydon Blue? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Before we go, some apparent good news on one DeMarvion Overshown. He, going back to the Instagram screenshot today, he posted this on Instagram. Says, good news from the doc. We getting active this season. All glory to God and my guys in the training room. The implication, answer, reason here, quite obvious to me. This means that he got a good update when I think he was already in Oxnard, by the way, when he met with the team doctors and everyone was like, yep, this is good. Like everything is on track. You're going to be able to return at some point this year. When that point is, I don't know. Over, under, around, rough benchmark somewhere in the time frame of Thanksgiving would make sense. That would fit pretty logically with the recovery timeline. I don't want to rush Overshown back because I need him. But I don't want to let my long-term needs or my short-term needs kind of override those long-term ones. I need Overshown back. I need him healthy. This is probably one of those things where you have to kind of like protect him from himself a little bit. I think that post is a good thing for the Cowboys. And hopefully this year he's back and looking at the guy we saw who was incredible in the 13 games, 12 and a half he was able to play this past season.